Hey guys, good afternoon. Am I audible? Guys, can you confirm I'm audible?
Yes, Dinesh.
Hope you remembered what we have done yesterday, what we have completed in our previous Docker session and all. So, did you remember what we have completed so far? I think I have taken 3 or 4 sessions with respect to your Docker so far.
Yeah, Dinesh.
So, maybe day before yesterday, we just started with how to install your Docker. I hope you remembered apt install docker.io space -y. It's a command to install your Docker that we have completed. And to pull any image from the dockerhub.com, we have a command called docker pull that particular image name. It might be a CentOS image or Ubuntu, Alpine, Python, Java, any image. If you want to pull it from Docker up to your local machine, we have to use the docker pull command, right? So, and to list out all the images, we have a Docker images or Docker image space ls that will list all the images pertaining or running on top of the Docker machine. So along with that, so if you want to start any container, we can use the before that to list out the container, we have a Docker container ls or Docker process status ps command. If you use it, you can list out all the container. Then to start the container, we can write Docker container run space -it space hyphen a Docker name, which is Ubuntu image name, right? We can mention it over there. And along with that, you know how to do the port forwarding. We have discussed the port forwarding also. And suppose if you want to stop some container, or if you want to start a container, or killing the container, restarting the machine, that also we have done. To remove the container, to remove the images, that also we have discussed. So to go inside the container, we have to use the docker exec command. So thereby we can go inside the container, and you know how to create the custom image. So there are two ways. One is with the help of a Docker commit, we can create the custom image, or otherwise we can go for Docker file where we can write the script and then we can use the Docker build command to build any images on top of your Docker machine, and then we can also share it to dockerhub.com. We have discussed yesterday how to share that image that you are preparing custom image, that we can share it to your your dockerhub.com. So how to log into Docker, and we have discussed how to make it as a public view. So that also we have discussed, and how to copy the file from the server to your Docker container, that I think you are aware. So this is what we have completed, guys, so far. Related to the images and container, we have completed. So today, yesterday I said how to share the image to your Docker app. Today, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create one private repository in my local where I'm going to push the Docker image. Now, that's what we are going to learn. How to share that Docker image locally to my private registry, to my private repository. How to perform, that we'll discuss today. Are you clear? So far, good?
Yeah.
Guys, can you tell me, guys, in interview, if you go as a DevOps engineer, right, there are 3 major tools you will get a question from the interview. One is Ansible. The second one, Docker or Kubernetes. Third one, Terraform. So you will get many questions from Docker, Ansible or Kubernetes and Docker. And yes, of course, Jenkins and GitHub. So far, whatever that we have completed on Docker, are you clear, or anything do you want me to repeat actually? Okay, no question. Okay.
Till now, okay, Dinesh.
Okay. Hey, what do you think? Docker is easy or a bit difficult? Will you able to understand, or it's a difficult concept? What do you think so far?
No, it's easy only. Like we are
Easy.
able to understand. Yeah.
Okay, fine then. Okay, suppose now we have we will share. I will share the screen. First of all, I will share the screen and I will open my terminal. This is my terminal. I already connected with my Ubuntu machine, and I'm going to check is there any Docker containers are available. So for that, I have to use a command, right? Docker ps command. I don't have any container. Is there any stopping container and all? No, we don't have any container. So any images are available, Docker image ls command. So I don't have any images also. Fine. So as a first step, I want to create one private registry where or local registry where I need to push my images, custom image or any image that you want to store it inside your registry. So for that, let me go to dockerhub.com. Dockerhub.com. This is my Docker Hub. And let me search some image. Or the image name is registry. We have an image called registry. Can you see? This is the registry image. Using this registry image, you can able to push any image to this registry. Registry is kind of one repo, guys. It's a kind of one repository, kind of one private repository. You can able to build it. Or local repository can build it with the help of this registry. So this image contains an implementation of Docker registry, right? So let me use this command to pull this image to my local. So Docker pulled registry, press enter, and it will download the latest registry. So if you check Docker image ls or Docker images, it will tell you one registry is available now. I have a registry now. Docker registry I have downloaded from your Docker Hub to local machine. Right. Now the question is, we have a registry, right? We have a registry. Now suppose if you want to create a container on top of this registry, I can create it, right? I can create a container on top of this registry. How to create the container on top of this registry? Simply you can write Docker, a container, space, run. Docker container, space, run. What you have to use? Hyphen
IT.
IT, space, hyphen, name. What is the name? I can give, say, for an example, the container name is C1. Or C1. Say I can give the local registry like that. I can give a container name is local registry. Like that I can give. Space. And then?
Port -D.
No. We have to open the port when we need the port forwarding, right? When you are going to deploy some code. That time we basically write the port, right? Like we will write 80:80. But I am not going to deploy any code. I am going to create one local registry. I am going to create one private registry. In that I will save that image. Here also you have to open the port. Which port you have to open, right? For registry, you have to open the 5000 port. What is the port number? 5000 is the port number. You have to open it. In default local registry, you have to open the 5000 port. Now space. What is the image? The Docker image. The registry is the image name. Registry is the image name. So what I'm doing here, I am just, creating a container on top of this registry and I'm opening this 5000 port. So let me press enter and it generated one container ID. So if you want to check whether container got created, so we can use the Docker ps command. Yes, it is saying, right? One local registry I have created, local registry. This local registry, I have opened the 5000 port number, port forwarding also I have done. And registry we have created. Image, the registry on top of that, we have this particular container. Guys, now you need to check, right? In this particular local registry, is there any repositories are available? Is there any images are available? For that, we can use some Linux command. The command that I'm going to use, which is a curl command, curl space. You can use the IP address. So I will go my machine. It will give you my public IP address, a colon, a 5000 is the port number, slash v2 slash underscore catalog. When you use this particular command, it will tell you in your local registry, right? On top of that, you have created some container. In that, is there any images are available? When you press enter, what happened? Oh, I made the mistake. I should open the 5000 port. Go to the instances. This is my instance. Go to the security and click on my security group. Click on security group and edit the inbound rules. Let me add a 5000 port number. 5000. Anywhere over the internet. Let me save this particular rule and I will go to my here. Yes. Now, can you see here? I got one response repository. Nothing is available in this particular JSON. It is a JSON output, right? Particularly in the curl command, it will give you HTML response, JSON response. It will give it to you. Here it is saying there is no images are stored here. So maybe what I can do, I can go to the internet also. So I will go to the internet, put colon 5000 slash v2 slash underscore a catalog. Press enter. Can you see here? Here also we are getting the same response, right? So we don't have any images here. Inside this particular array, we don't have any repo. There is no images. Local registry is empty as of now. Are you clear? Are you clear?
Yes.
Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the image, right? I have an image. Which image I have? See, I don't have any image, right? So if I type Docker image space ls, I have only a registry image. This is to create the container. Okay, I will pull some image, guys. Docker, pull, say for an example, I'm pulling CentOS image. And I'm pulling one more image. Wait, Docker pull CentOS. Some lightweight image we can pull it. Locker, pull, say Alpine. This one image is available. It is 7 MB image, right? So I can pull it. So now Docker image ls. So I have totally two images, right? Alpine image and CentOS image, which is very lightweight. Okay, fine. Now this image, I want to push it to my local registry. This image I want to push it to my local registry. How can I push this image to the local registry? Very simple. Type Docker. You can write a push. Write local host colon 5000 slash. What is you can give the image name. What is the image name? The image name is say Alpine. Alpine is the image name. This image I need to push it to this 5000 port. Whatever that I opened, right? So when you press enter, I am seeing an error. Why I am seeing an error? Guys, I will ask you one question. Tell me, yesterday we have pushed some image to the dockerup.com. There are two things you have to remember. What are they? When you push any image to the dockerup.com, there are two important things you should remember. Or there are two prerequisites before pushing the code to Dockerup.
One is have account.
Yes, you should have the account. Convention. Exactly. We have a naming convention. Username slash image name. But here, can you see, we are not following any naming convention. So I have to follow some naming convention. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one tag, Docker image tag, Docker image tag. What is the image name? Say Alpine. 1 minute, guys. Hello. Docker image tag Alpine. Here you have to give say local host colon 5000 is my username like that. Slash whatever the image name that you want, you can give it. Any image name you can give it. Say I'm giving my Alpine like that. Right? Now if you check Docker images, can you see localhost colon 5000? Now let me try to push it. Docker, a push. You can write Docker push local host colon 5000 slash my Alpine. So press enter. Now can you see it is pushed to that particular repository. It is pushed to a repository. So what I will do now, let me check it whether it is available or not with the help of that curl command. Curl command will give you the JSON response, right? Curl command will give you the JSON response. So where is my curl command? So write curl command, press enter. Can you see here? My Alpine image is available inside my local registry. Now even you can check it here. It is available, right? So this is how you can push your custom image or any image that you want to push it to your local registry. Because we are living in the world of, we need a security data, right? I don't want, if I share it to dockerup.com, we may think like some people, they will get that image. I don't want to make it as a public. I want to save it on my local. I want to create some registry where I need to store it. I'm thinking that is the most secure way. In that case, you can go for like this. Are you clear? Yes or no?
Dinesh, tell me one second.
Okay. Do you want to start from beginning? Okay. No issues. See, listen. I have, say, Docker. If I type Docker images, if I type, I have this many images, right? Say, for an example, I have a CentOS image. This CentOS image, it is not available inside my local registry. If you check in local registry, I have only Alpine image. I don't have a CentOS image. Now I want to push this CentOS image to your local registry. So what I can do, I can write Docker, a push, and I have to follow the naming convention. What I need to do, local host means registry, in which port number, 5000 port number, slash, you can give them image name. Whatever the image name, say for an example, CentOS image. But the name should be like this. Your CentOS name should be like this. For that reason, I'm just creating an alias, right? Image tag space for this CentOS image. I'm giving the name like this: local host colon 5000 slash anything. Say cent or CentOS, whatever it might be. When you press enter, now you can push it down. Docker, a push, and local host colon 5000 slash cent like that. Now what will happen? It will be available inside your local registry. What is the purpose of this one? Let me tell you. Why you need to store that image into local repository? I will tell you now. See, after completion of this one, if you check curl command, it will give you, now we have two images, right? Cent image, also my Alpine image. Can you check it here? I have two images now. Now suppose you have this particular image, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to Docker RM. I will RMI space -F. I'm going to remove this particular image. Alpine image, I'm going to remove. RMI, I have removed actually. Now if you check Docker images, if you type it, Docker images, if you type it, there is no right Alpine image. Even I can remove this also. Docker RMI space -F Alpine. I'm removing. Now if you check Docker images, now see, I have a registry, localhost, CentOS image. Now suppose I need that image. If you need that image, it is already available inside your repository, right? Local registry. You can pull it. Docker pull. Which image you want to pull? I want to pull sent image, right? So you can type local host colon 5000 / the image name is sent. Press enter. Now if you check Docker images, press enter. Can you see here? I got the sent image now. Sent image. I'm sorry. Alpine, right? Is this Docker pull. So I can write local host colon 5000 my Alpine like that. Now if you check Docker images, can you see here? I got the my Alpine image now. Yes or no?
Yes,
Others, same guys. Yesterday we have discussed the dockerup.com. There we have shared our images. Today we have just discussed with help of a local repository, local registry we have created. In that we are pushing the code. Very simple. And we are pulling whenever it is required. So there is a choice that container which runs registry can crash. Then we lost all the. There is a chance that container which runs registry can crash. Then we lost all the stored images. We can use. Yes, someone. That also may happen, right? Say for an example, if you lost your registry, then obviously you will lose the data. Even if your local machine Ubuntu server fails, you cannot retrieve the data. But anyway, we are believing, right? But you can take the backup. You can take some snapshot also. For that, we need to understand the Docker volume. I'm going to cover the next topic, Docker volume. There you will get a more idea on that. But as of now, yes, your case also will possible. But again, that should be having multiple backup, or maybe you can save it with help of another registry also. Whichever that you are believing, that also you can go it. In real time, they will use some third-party software also. Through that also, they can manage the registry, or they can manage the images. We have done the port number, right? Saranraj, 5000 is the, and we can use any port number. No, not like that. Registry has the default port number 5000. Every system has the default port number that we have to use it. Suppose if we go for HTTP, we are using the 80 port number. For registry, we are using the 5000 is the port number. We have to open that one. That port number, we have to map it to container. That port number, we have to map it to container. Container of 5000. Guys, are you clear with this one? This topic, particular topic, how to pull or push your Docker images via your registry?
Yeah, Dinesh.
Guys, maybe in interview people might ask you what kind of steps you will follow to push or pull any images to your local registry or Docker up, so that you have to practice actually. Okay, fine. Now, Docker ps space -e. I have one container is running. Let me remove that container. The container name is local registry. Okay, it got removed, and I will remove this images also. Docker image space images. I have this many images, so I don't want Docker RMI space -f. Let me remove this images. I don't want this one also. I will remove all my images. Okay, so let me clear. And if you check Docker images, I don't have any images. So suppose if you are typing this curl command, press enter, you will not get it, right? The reason because you remove the container, right? Yes or no? The registry container is running, that got removed. And how can I fetch the data from the local registry? No. So my topic, next topic is Docker storage. We are going to discuss about Docker storage. What is Docker storage? Guys, generally, we will use a container, right? When we install the Docker engine on top of your server, on top of that, we will create images. On top of that, we will create the containers, right? And when you create a container, you basically store some data inside it, right? You can store it also. Did you remember? We have created some directory also. Yeah, you can be able to create some directory. When you say create, suppose if you have created some container, you can log into that particular container. You can log into that particular container and you can create some directory and you can store some data, right? In real time. So inside the container, suppose if you have hosted your database, and inside the database, definitely there will be different files, right? Different kind of data you have. And you can store it inside the container. But is it good practice if you ask me? No. Why? Say for an example, if you delete the container, if you remove the container, what will happen? When you delete the container, what will happen to that particular data? Whatever the data that you have stored, right, inside your container, when you delete the container, what will happen to the data? You will lose the data. You will lose the data, right? Data will be gone. Say you are running one database, MySQL database, inside the container that will store some data. But if your container is deleted, you will lose the data. It is not a good, right? It is not good. So remember, it is called as non-persistent storage. Your Docker in default, when you create the container, when you store some data, that data is called non-persistent storage. Non-persistent storage. So to understand this one, let me tell you practically, listen. Suppose I will type docker ps command. I don't have any container, right? So let me run some container, docker container, run space -it space -hyphen name. Say I'm giving a container name is a web container. C1 is the container name. C1 is the container name. And I can write a Docker image name, say Alpine is the image name. So now what will happen? It will create one image, Alpine, and it will run one container right on top of this Alpine image. Now press enter. So it is pulling the image and also we have a container now. Alpine container. Alpine container is available. So let me check Docker ps space -a. I have one running container which is called Alpine is the container is available. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log into this particular container. I can log into that particular container. Docker exec space -it. You have to use the container name C1. Bash is the command, you have to use it. So thereby you can log into the particular container, right? I can go to unable to start the container process. exec bash execute reply not found in path unknown. Up only. Why? Any mistake I made? How to go inside the container? Docker exe command. Why executable file not found in this structure? Let me can you wait, guys? Check my open the machine. Okay, so listen. So let me check now. Docker exec space -it. Then I have to give the container name and the bash. Okay, let me 1 minute. Docker images. Docker RMI space -f. I'll try and extract image name. Okay. Docker images. Docker images. Docker RMI space -f. This is the image ID. I can Docker RMI. So Docker RM space -1 C1. Delete. So Docker images in Docker PS. I don't have any containers. Now let me Docker pull. I'll find, or I can pull some Ubuntu image. Docker pull Ubuntu and write Docker container run space -it -name. So the image I'm going to give container C1 -d. I can give Ubuntu. Now let me write exec space -it. Container name C1. I can write a bash now. So I have logged into my container now. Okay. I have logged into the container now. Now what I will do now, once you have logged into the container, let me type ls command. Is there any directory? Yeah, this many directories are available in default inside your container, right? So let me create one container or one directory. I'm going to create it. Say make directory. Say demo directory. I'm going to create it. And if we type ls, I have a demo directory is got created. So I will go inside this cd demo. Right? I will create some file here. Say touch 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, I have created some file. If we type ls, we have this many file, right? We have created this many file. Let me exit from the container. Let me exit from the container. Now, if you check Docker, okay, let me stop the container. Okay, stop the container. Docker, stop the container name. What is the container name? The container name is C1, right? Let me stop it. I'm stopping the container. And if you check Docker ps space e, okay, ps space -a. So you can see, right, it is excited. The container is stopped actually. So let me start it again. Docker start C1. When I started, C1 got started now. Now if you check Docker ps command, it is a running container now. Now let me once again log in. Let me log in once again to the container. Right? Log into the container. Now, if you check ls demo, inside the demo, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you stop the container and if you start it again, you will not lose the data. Are you clear this one? If you stop and start it, you cannot lose the data. Is that okay?
Yeah, Dinesh.
Now, suppose I am exit from here and I will write rm space -f. What is the container name? C1. Press enter. Now, if you check Docker PS space -a, your container got removed. Now, how to access that particular data? How to access this particular data? Can you tell me? All right, we cannot access, correct?
Data is gone.
Data is gone. So this is called as non-persistent. When you stop the container, no issues. But when you delete the container, you cannot get the data, right? It's a non-persistent. Non-persistent data storage, non-persistent system, non-persistent file system. But suppose, let me clear this. And I will check Docker images. I have a Ubuntu image, fine. Docker PS space -a. I don't have any container, fine. I will run the container now. Docker container run space -it -name. Say C1 is the container name. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one more tag called mount tag. Inside the mount tag, I'm going to use a type called temporary file system or temporary file storage, TMPFS, and comma, say destination, where I need to store, maybe inside your container, right? Say I can create one folder called demo. I'm going to create one directory called demo. Space -d, what is the image name? Ubuntu is the image name. In addition, I have added the mount. In mount, I said type is a temporary file system. Destination is a demo. What is the purpose of this one? Now, it is also going to create container. Demo is the folder which is going to create inside the container. Demo is the folder which will be created inside the container. Remember. So now press enter. It creates one container, right? Container got created. Now, if you check Docker PS command, it is saying one container is up and running. Now, quickly, I will log into this particular container. Docker exec command, I'm going to use it to log into this particular container. Yes, I have logged in. Now, if you check ls, you can see the demo folder, right? Because you have mounted the demo folder. You mounted the demo folder. Now, if you want to check this demo, if you type ls, I don't have any file. I don't have any file. But you can make it, right? You can make a file, right? Say, I will make a file. Say, touch 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. If you type ls, then how many files are available? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 files are available inside this demo folder. So what I will do, I will exit from the container now. I have exit from the container. Now, what I will do, listen. Now I'm going to stop this container. Docker stop C1. I will stop the container. So it will stop the container. And once stop the container, I will start it again. If you type Docker PS command, it will say, I don't have any running container. So I'm going to start it now. Docker start C1. Press enter. It is started, right? Now I will log in once again. I will log in once again. And I have logged into here. And let me type ls command. And is there any demo folder? Yes, I have a demo folder. And if I type /ls demo, inside demo, is there any file? I don't have any file. Can you see here? There is no file inside the demo. There is no folder inside a file inside the demo. Because here we have mounted the temporary file system. When you mount a temporary file system, right? So even if you stop the container, you will lose the data. So what is the purpose of this one? Why should I go for this? Because in real time, suppose if you are thinking like, when I stop the container, I don't want that particular file. The reason, because sometimes I need to do the in-memory calculation. In-memory calculation means, say in container, suppose if you are running some application, that application required whenever that application will do some calculation. Whenever If it is running, if it is stopping, I no need of that particular file and all. Even if it is deleted, I'm completely fine with it. In that case, you will go for this temporary file system also, you can mount it. What is the difference between this non-persistent and temporary file? In non-persistent, if you stop the container, no issues. But if you delete the container, that's it, gone. But if you go with this one, temporary file storage, right? If you stop the container itself, you will lose the data. But if you delete the container, obviously, you will lose the data. Are you clear?
Then what is the use? Dinesh?
That's the reason I said only for in-memory calculation. Say, suppose if Docker is running, one application is running, the application needs to do some kind of calculation and it has to have the file. But when it is stopped, right, I don't want that particular file. In that situation, right, only for calculation purpose or only for internal running status, for that you need some file. That time you will go for this temporary file system. Even if you lost the data, I don't bother. So then you can go for this temporary file storage. Only for memory calculation, only for the containerization work, or maybe the application kind of activity. That time it will generate some file, right? That files and all may be irrelevant. So you don't want, that should be a persistent, it should be a non-persistent. Then you can go for TMPS. Am I clear, Jaya?
Yes, Dinesh.
Others? Are you clear with this non-persistent, also temporary file storage? Okay. Okay. So, you know, normal way and also temporary file system. Now let me talk about the persistent storage. Can we able to do some persistent storage with help of your Docker container? Even if your container is deleted, I want the data should be available. Is that possible? Even if you delete the container, I don't want to lose my data. My data should be available. Yes, it is also possible. How we can achieve them? Either you can go for Docker volume concept, and second one, we can go for bind mount. These two concepts help us to make a persistent volume in your container. In your container, Docker volume or bind mount. Yes, it's bit tricky. I want you should focus, right? So what is Docker volume and bind mount? In interview, most of the time people will ask you question from this Docker volume and bind mount. We'll discuss one by one. So let me talk about the first volume, first type, which is Docker volume. Docker volume. So Docker volume generally managed by, who is managing your Docker volume means the Docker daemon. Docker daemon or Docker engine that you have installed, right, on top of your Ubuntu machine. On top of your Ubuntu machine, you have installed the Docker, right? The Docker daemon or Docker engine will manage your Docker volume. So whenever you install the Docker engine, automatically you will get one special directory. You will get one special directory for your Docker volume. So remember, all the process that you are doing inside the container is run by Docker daemon. Without Docker daemon, we cannot get the container, right? The same way, Docker provides, when you install the Docker daemon, when you install the Docker engine, that will give you one a special directory, volume directory, you will get it. If you want to see a Docker related objects, when you install the Docker engine or Docker daemon, so let me clear this. What happens? Okay. Let me clear this. Sudo space su. And if you check Docker images, we have an image, right? Docker ps space -a. I have a container also, Ubuntu container. So let me remove this container first. Docker rm space -f, Ubuntu, right? I will remove this. Docker rm space -f, Ubuntu, not Ubuntu. C1 container. C1 container, I have removed. And we have only a Docker image now. Docker image, which is nothing but your Ubuntu image here. Guys, I said, right, there is a special directory, I said. So where is that special directory? It is available inside your var library / Docker. When you press enter, here you can see Docker related objects. Whenever you install the Docker daemon, Docker engine, you will get some Docker related object or Docker related files or folders, directories inside this Docker folder. Like we have a plugin, we have a runtime, Swarm, a trust, volumes and all. Can you see volume here? So this is the special directory, volume directory, which is created by your Docker daemon, which is managing this particular directory. So if you want to see inside this volume, what you have, volumes, press enter. Can you see here? Here you have some directories are again available. I think this is got created because of that local registry we have created, right? That time we got this particular ID. So to see that one, we can write Docker. We have a command called Docker volume space ls command. You can use it. Press enter. Can you see here the driver, the local driver? We have created registry, right? That time we got this one. So I'm going to remove this Docker volume rm. So I will remove this directory now. I will remove this. Yes, it got removed. Now if you check that ls command, ls this one. Now you see only this particular registry, right? Right, ls var lib docker / volume. Here we have this many directory. So remember, whenever you install your Docker, you will get one special directory inside your Docker folder, which is called volumes, which is managed by your Docker daemon or Docker engine. If you are not installing the Docker engine, you will not see this particular Docker related object, right? Now let me create one directory here, or otherwise, let me remove this. Yeah, okay, I will create one directory here. I'm going to make one directory. Guys, to see whatever the command is available inside the Docker volume, you just type like this: Docker volume space -help is the command. If you use it, right, you can see in Docker volume whatever the command that you have. See, we have a create command to create some volume, inspect command to inspect something. Like that, we have many commands are available. So I want to create one volume. How to create the volume? How to create volume? So to create a volume, we have to use the create command. We can create command, we have to use it. So I can create one volume. Let's see, Docker volume. Create is the command, you have to use it. Say this is a demo volume, like that I'm giving some name, demo volume. So press enter. Now it's saying demo volume got created. Let me check that one, whether it got created. Can you see here? Demo volume got created inside your Docker volumes. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, then.
So one demo volume got created inside this. So let me go inside this demo volume, press enter. And can you see one default directory got created, which is called _data. So let me write _data also. Is there any file? No, we don't have any file inside the _data. Fine, leave it. So now what I have done? I just created one directory or volume inside the volume. Now, let me create a container also. How to create the container? Docker container run space -it -name C1 -d. What is the image name you have to give it? What is the image name? You have to give it. So the image name is Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Now what I will do? Now I will use -mount command. Here I will give a source. The source is where? The source is here, right? /var /lib. This is the source. /var /lib /docker volume and demo underscore volume underscore data. Guys, only 1 minute. I'm getting for you. Okay, so Docker container run space -it -name C1. The mount command I have used source. Which is the source? Source I have created, which is demo volume. I have given the name, comma destination. Destination you can give any name. Say suppose I'm giving /demo is the destination, or /app. Anything you can give it. One name you have to give it. That's it. Now maybe I can change the name, guys. Otherwise you will confuse. So I will write / say this is a directory, my directory 1. My directory 1. Now press enter. That's it. Let me clear this. And I will log into that particular container. So let me log into that particular container. Okay, log into that particular container. So Docker exec space -it. What is the container name? C1, and the container name is bash. Bash we have to log in. Now container got right. Now if you check ls, do you have a file called the directory, my directory 1, right? So let me use ls or say cd my directory 1. I will go inside this. Is there any file? No files, right? I will create file 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that I have created a file. Touch 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a file, right? So what I will do now, let me exit. Now if you check this ls/var docker volume demo volume underscore data, when you press enter, can you see that particular file is available in your server now? In your Docker volume, you can find this file, right? Yes or no? Guys, now suppose, will you able to understand or not? Are you not answering? Yes, okay. So now what I will do, I will go inside this. I will go to this particular directory. Say cd. If I type ls. Now let me touch 5 here or touch 6 here. Now if you check ls, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Once again, I will log into that particular container. I have logged into this particular container. Once you have logged in, right? Let me check ls demo now. Ls my directory 1. Can you see here? It is available inside the container also. Then it means that it acts as a shared drive, right? So if you exit, and even if I create one more container also, say I'm creating another container. Say sudo space su. I will create another container. Docker Where is the Docker container command? Yeah, here we have a Docker container command. So this time I will create one more container. Say I'm creating a container called C2 hyphen mount. Source is the demo volume, destination is, maybe I can give a different name. Say my directory 2 hyphen d Ubuntu. Or you can create it for different image also, right? So let me create it for Ubuntu itself. Press enter. Now I have a 2 container on top of this Ubuntu image. Now let me go inside this particular container, say Docker exec. Here I can use C2 is the container name. And if you check ls my directory 2, can you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because your Docker volume is managed by Docker engine, not by container. So then it will be act as a shared drive, right? Yes or no? Now suppose if you even delete the container, I'm deleting the container, say Docker rm space -f C1 and C2. Both the container I'm going to delete. Delete the container. Now your container got deleted. You no need to worry about this one. Even your container got deleted, you no need to worry about this one, right? So what I will do, I can type this ls, this one. Can you see here? I have this particular thing, right? Yes or no? Now suppose if we are going to create one more a new container, say this container C1, C2 already deleted. Say this is my, I can give C1, C2, but I can go for C3 like that. So if you press enter, now if I log into that particular container, log into the container called C3. Now if you check ls my directory 2, can you see here? It is available, right? So this is act as a shared storage. Also, your data is persistent. Even if you delete or stop the container, there is no problem, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, then.
Others able to understand what is Docker volume? Okay. Do you want me to repeat, guys, this one? Docker volume? Docker volume.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Fine, right? Fine. So this is called Docker volume. So Docker volume, who is managing? You or Docker daemon or Docker engine? Docker daemon. So it's a special directory will be created inside the /what/lib/docker/volume, where you can create the volume with the help of Docker volume create like that. Can I share that volume to other instances? We have shared, right? Just we have shared other instances means other EC2 you are saying. Yes, Aman, container can communicate with each other. In default, you know, through the bridge network, through the Docker 0 network, container can be able to communicate with each other. Thereby, we can be able to share this volume to other container also or other instances also. Fine. Now, next volume. What is bind volume? Docker bind is very simple. Docker bind means here Docker is not managing this volume. You can create your own directory, maybe on your server, on your Ubuntu machine. You can create your own location. In that location, you can have that Docker files actually. Whatever the file, right, that you want to keep it. Not inside the Docker volume. Inside your own directory. That's called as a bind volume. We can create our own directory. Say for an example, I'm going to create one directory, like say this is directory number 1 or maybe a Okay, directory one. Like that, I have created one directory. Inside this directory, if you want to store that particular container file, yeah, you can store it. So how we can store it? So we can write Docker, say container run space -it hyphen name. Say this is my C1 container. We have to use either -b or hyphen mount. Anything is fine. -b. You have to give the path, absolute path you have to give it. Absolute path you have to give it, write a /home/ubuntu here /home/ubuntu/ what is the directory name you have created? D1, right? You can keep D1 and colon and destination you have to give it. Say the destination, say app. App is the name I am going to give it, or you can give any name. And what is the image name? So the image name Ubuntu. That's it. Now if you press enter, created, right? Now let me write Docker exe space -it C1 dash. I have logged in. Now if you check ls, here we have that app directory. Where is that app directory? App is not available. Yeah, here we have app, right? So suppose if we go inside this app, I will write touch 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Now if I exit from here, now I will go this particular location, right? Say ls. What is the directory name? D1, right? Press enter. Can you see that 1, 2, 3, 4? It is available in your own directory. Even if you delete the container, right? Docker rm space -f C1 is the container you have deleted, right? Even you delete the container, you can type this D1, you have a data, right? But if you delete the D1, you will lose the data. But who is managing this one? You are managing. On your server directly, you are giving the files that you are storing. This is called bind mode. You can create your custom path where you can save it instead of having inside the Docker volume. Am I clear, guys? Yes or no? What is bind mode? Guys, please answer. Are you clear? What is bind mount? What is Docker volume?
Yeah, Dinesh.
So Docker volume, that basically managed by Docker daemon. You have to go for default location /var/lib/docker, where you can prepare your volumes and all. But if you don't want to go for the Docker directory, I'm going to create I'm just believing my server. So where I need to store my data, then you can go for your bind mount concept. Through that, you can create your own directory in which you can store all your data inside that. Thereby, even if you lost your container, you will not lose your data. Fine. Right. So this is enough actually related to your Docker volumes, persistent volume or non-persistent volume. Either Docker volume or Docker bind. Most of the cases, we will go for Docker volume. We will trust the Docker volume. That's a default directory. Even if you fail, right, you can able to manage it. But in some cases, the people will believe the servers. Then they will create their custom directory and they will have it on that. Again, it depends, guys. We cannot say, right, Docker volume is great, Docker bind is great. So based on the use cases. So if you are thinking like the Docker volume, that can manage, don't want to manage, then you can go for Docker volume itself. Thereby, we have a centralized place. Every files are stored over there. But you are thinking like, no, I want my place where I need to store my directory. Thereby, you can easily access. Then you can go for bind volume. Fine. So, guys, 1 minute. Can you tell me, like, Alagarshan sir, what he has completed on Docker? What he has completed? I'm asking what are the topics he has completed for you? Any idea on that? because I need to take the Docker networking. So that's the reason I'm asking. So can you confirm? Do you have any notes? Did he give any notes or did he send any video, anything?
He sent some documents. Like,
Okay. So can you confirm like the topics that I have completed, right? Is he completed those topics already?
Two networks, I think so, sir.
Docker volume, the allegations are taken or not?
Yes, yes.
Docker volume is taken. Okay. Fine. Okay. So still we need to discuss the Docker networking. Okay. Fine. So do practice this concept. A Docker volume only I have completed today. So what is not persistent? What is temporary file storage? And this persistent storage in the Docker volume and bind volume. And one more topic initially I have covered, private registry. How to push your code to registry, and whenever it is required, you have to pull it. That also you can practice, guys. So tomorrow we'll back with the Docker networking. If possible, tomorrow I will try to complete this Docker and let's move to another one. I'm not sure because still we need to cover 2 or 3 topics. Let's see tomorrow. Okay. Let's see tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Bye.
So, Dinesh,
Yep.
what about the Linux commands, Dinesh? Because
I planned Sunday actually. This Sunday. So this Sunday I have planned actually. Friday I will update you, Chaya.
okay, and also in AWS, also few topics are left, right?
Yeah, I remembered actually. I remembered that also I have noted actually. So I will complete actually. And Aman, shell scripting is not required, Aman. Shell scripting, no one is using in today industry. So earlier there will be a shell scripting when the system administrator they used. Better we can go for Python, Aman. Python, which is the most important one. I will cover the Python. So if anyone asking, like the shell scripting, you just tell them yes. Don't tell no, you just tell them yes. And the basics, like that you can tell them. If time permits, I will try to cover shell script also. Time permits. The reason because we have a vast syllabus. Each and every topic, it is very difficult to cover. But whatever that I can cover it. That's more than enough for interview point of view, right? Okay. So
Okay,
let's
Dinesh,
see. Let's see tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Fine. Bye.